In this interview, I will discuss problems in Ethiopia on malnutrition with a former mission worker who was stationed there for 3 years. His name is Eric, and he has conducted extensive research during his time spent in Ethiopia.
Hey Sydney, it's glad to be here. You have any questions for me?
In the population, what demographics are affected most by malnutrition?
The medical facility I was working at saw all kinds of patients with various illnesses. Malnutrition was very common, and it was mostly seen in women and young children. This was a big concern in expecting or breastfeeding mothers, because during pregnancy, high amounts of nutrients are needed to maintain the mother's health and at the same time grow a healthy fetus. Also during breastfeeding, a malnourished mother cannot pass on nutrients to the infant, resulting in an underfed, undernourished infant. This will stunt development at a very young age and lead to illnesses later in life.
Reason people are malnourished in Ethiopia.
Ethiopia is a developing country and poverty rates are very high. Compared to the United States with an average per capita income of $50,000, Ethiopia only averages $320. Most families in Ethiopia cannot afford food that is not grown on their own land. More than 10 million people in Ethiopia are currently in need of food relief.
There are many food relief programs as well as treatment centers, including the well-known UNICEF. UNICEF is expecting to treat around 458,000 children in Ethiopia for severe acute malnutrition, along with 2.5 million pregnant or lactating women and children for moderate acute malnutrition. Do you think programs like UNICEF will help solve Ethiopia's hunger issue?
UNICEF help a lot with treating and providing relief to the population. The country needs to take action to better its economy and become either more self-sufficient or engage in trade with other countries if the hunger issue is to be controlled.
Thank you for your time today, Eric.
Of course.
Now to switch to the United States of America, a country who, from the outside, does not appear to have a malnutrition problem, but a deeper look shows that is far from the truth. People in the U.S. are consuming large amounts of calorie-dense foods that are nutritionally poor. The organization Feeding America took note of 13.1 million children under the age of 18 living in homes considered food insecure. Aside from malnutrition due to poverty, the diet of the average American is not held to a very high standard, and people are paying the price. The average American diet exceeds recommended intake of fats, sugars, refined carbs, sodium, and saturated fats, whereas the diet consists of a considerably low amount of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, oils, and dairy products, which are all essential to a healthy lifestyle. The U.S. Department of Agriculture provides guidelines for a healthy diet. 13% of your daily calorie intake should be from vegetables, 20% from dairy, 13% from fruits, and 13% from proteins, 40% from whole grains and nuts. Natural fats and oils should be included in small amounts, as you see right here. In the average American diet, 23% of daily calories come from flour and grains, 23% from added fats and oils, 17% from sweeteners and sugars, 11% from dairy products, 8% from fruits and vegetables, and 18% from proteins. 63% of all of this food consumed is processed and loses most of its nutritional benefits. This poor health in America leads to many problems such as heart attacks, strokes, obesity, arthritis, diabetes, and weaker muscles. The majority of American families following diets like these are low-income families. The majority of Americans following poor diets are low-income families. Low-income households feel the effects more because healthy, fresh foods tend to cost more than a meal from McDonald's, which is also more filling. Fast food has become cheaper for the amount of food than almost anything else. Convenience and price are steering America towards obesity and malnutrition. Another thing is, as you can see in the southern states, it is based on culture that their foods are fattier and more filling and they eat more often, and obesity is very prevalent in those areas.